Syracuse versus Duke is a lacrosse game loaded with plots and subplots.
I guess this game is basically life or death for our team. It's one of those games where you got to come out and, it's either be good or be gone. If we lose, that's it, we're out of here. We pack up our stuff and we go home.
Exciting. I think to be home is just absolutely fantastic for the upstate guys especially. Lacrosse down in North Carolina isn't very publicized.
The gold, bringing it, being number one, being the best is, and it's a team sport, but you want to be, a lot of hard work goes into the season, and you want to be the best at the end.
At Duke, we look at big time as basketball. This is, in our sport, the highest level. It commands the most media attention. It commands the most interest in the community, the biggest crowds, and definitely a homecoming for our upstate guys, and we're very excited about that.
The game is not really number 1 versus number 8. I mean, that's the way the season ended, but this is the new season, and you got two teams that are very closely matched. You can take the numbers now, the coaches poll. It doesn't enter into this. This is NCAA play.
Super Sports, a production of Adelphia Cable Communications, presents NCAA Tournament Lacrosse. This afternoon, it's the Duke Blue Devils against the Syracuse Orangemen. And we come to you from the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. A very pleasant good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dan Hoard, and along with Dale Drypolcher, we're delighted to have you watching our Super Sports coverage of NCAA Lacrosse. This is a big game for both of these teams. The winner advances to the Final Four next weekend in College Park, Maryland. And for Syracuse, well, it's basically old hat. The Orangemen have been to the Final Four for the last 11 seasons.
I think for the fans and the coaches and even the players, it has become a tradition, something to expect it. And I think that they feel that gives them a little bit of an advantage over Duke. They're the big guys. They're the guys that have to be knocked off. You got to go through Syracuse to get to the finals, and that's what they feel. So I think that's going to give them a little bit of an advantage, that tradition.
Duke is already coming off the first NCAA tournament win in program history, so in some senses, the Blue Devils have accomplished one of the goals they set before the season. Duke has had a great year. The Blue Devils are 10-5. All 5 losses have come to prominent names in college lacrosse, and the biggest win undoubtedly over Virginia, ranked number 2 at the time, and that game, Dale, provided something of a blueprint for how the Blue Devils will try to beat Syracuse today.
It's interesting. They got off the bus. I ran directly into Mike Pressler, the head coach of Duke, and he said, Dale, we're not running a zone. They do, however, slow it down offensively. They are a patient team. And not to say they slow it down, they are patient. However, he says we will run with Syracuse. We're not just going to try to sit back in a zone, so let's look for them. Patient offense, a good, tough defense, man-to-man most of the game.
As we saw in those opening comments, Duke has a Central New York flavor. 5 of its players come from this area, so there should be some Duke fans in the crowd, although mostly a Syracuse crowd certainly at the Carrier Dome today. Stay tuned. We'll have the starting lineups and the opening face-off coming up in a moment on Super Sports. The Carrier Dome in Syracuse, where the Orangemen are 17-1 in NCAA tournament play. The winner of today's game moving on to the Final Four next weekend in College Park, Maryland. Dan Hoard and Dale Drypolcher with you from the Dome today. And even before this game gets underway, an interesting development as the officials really seem to zone in on the sticks, checking to make sure that they're legal.
I think one of the things they want to make sure they're legal. They measure the length, they measure the width. This pocket in the stick, one of the things to look at, here's the ball. When it is in the pocket, if the official can see any space between the gut wall here, the plastic wall, and the ball, that's an illegal stick. You'll be glad to know our producer's stick is legal. They also measure the inside head here at 6.5 to 10 inches, and they measure the length of the stick, 40 to 42, 52 to 72, and that's what he was checking.
And it looked like everybody passed inspection. Now the starting lineups for Syracuse at attack: Casey Dunnigan, Jim Morrissey, and Matt Doyle. The midfield, All-Americans, all 3. Roy Colsey, the leading scorer, Charlie Lockwood and Dom Finn. Lockwood and Finn playing their last Dome game today. Dave Signor is the face-off specialist for Syracuse. At defense, the big sticks: Chad Smith, Hans Schmid, and Rick Beardsley, and in goal, the junior, Alex Rozier, has had an excellent first season for Syracuse. Roy Simmons Jr. trying to make it to his 12th consecutive Final Four, 243 and 83, his all-time record. We are set for the opening face-off. Signor doing the honors for Syracuse. The ball still loose on the turf, and it's picked up by Duke. Face-offs will be a key as Duke seeks to hold on to the ball as much as possible today.
And they will run, we described a patient offense. They're not going to run down, take a poor shot. Mike Pressler wants them to take good shots. He said that sometimes, Dan, during a game, they'll get off 35 or 40 shots. We have seen Syracuse get off 70 or 72 shots. That gives you an idea of how particular and patient his offense is.
It's the formula Princeton used in winning the national championship over Syracuse 2 years ago. And Pressler tipped his cap to Princeton, saying he's learned from watching them play.
He said this team has changed a bit since mid-year. They had a bad game. He took credit for the poor game, so they made some changes, and he says they're a different team, but he still has the same basic philosophy.
Mike Clayton has the ball for Duke. He is a local product from Baldwinsville High, just outside of Syracuse. He takes the first shot of the game, and he scores. Firing it past the side, the stick side of Syracuse goalie Alex Rozier, and Duke has a 1-0 lead 1 minute into the game.
So Mike Clayton, watch, Colsey's on him. He just goes left-handed. It's just a sweep. They make the slide, but not soon enough. He gets off a nice, watch the left-handed shot. Nice angle, guys. And he actually sent the ball back a little bit from the direction he was going, and Clayton comes up with number 1 with exactly 1 minute gone in the game.
You saw Clayton's stats coming into the game. With that goal, he's up to 20 this season.
Donovan out for a face-off now for Duke, and they lose it to Syracuse.
Toby Price controlling that face-off for the Orange, as opposed to Signor, who attempted to take the opening face-off. Syracuse down 1-0. The Orangemen playing for the first time in 2 weeks, and in their last game they fell behind Michigan State 3-0 before going on to a blowout, but they know they can't afford to do anything like that in the NCAA tournament. Casey Dunnigan with the ball for Syracuse, and Duke, as you were told, Dale, playing man-to-man.
He said he wants to run with them, and he said, you know, one of the things the zone defense does, it can help you defensively, but it doesn't help you out with the transition game many times. It really costs you. So Mike Pressler sticking pretty much now, obviously early, with this man-to-man.
I think one reason why Duke can play man-to-man is that they have massive defensemen. Not big enough to stop that low bullet. Dom Finnegan with a whip shot, and he got it by Joe Kirmser for Syracuse's first goal.
Sullivan is on him, 21. Paul Sullivan, 5'9", 174. And you see how quickly he got that shot off. And Kirmser, who's got just under 60%, not able to come up with that one. Each team 1 for 1.
The goalies have very similar save percentages, both around 59%. Kirmser has been a key to Duke's success, though. He is a sophomore. This is his first year in the lineup. He did not play at all last year, sitting out behind 2 goalies. And he has really had an excellent season.
Nice job, Fotopoulos, the big stick midi, got that ball on the wing for Syracuse.
Charlie Lockwood driving between 2 defenders, his shot knocked down by Kirmser. And here comes Duke. Leading scorer Scott Harrison with the ball. Toby Price can't stop him. Good setup, there's the shot, and there's the goal. Scott Allen on the feed from Scott Harrison. And Duke leads Syracuse 2-1.
Nice look, Allen really got a great pass here. They run over to double, leaves him open on the, about 10-yard shot, and he goes after it. There's Charlie Lockwood. There's the point-blank chest save, and things are happening quickly, Dan. 2-1, 12:48 left, and both teams showing they can run and gun.
Duke has taken 2 shots and scored on both of those shots. Syracuse has taken 2 shots, and the Orangemen put 1 of the 2 in. Signor back for this face-off. Syracuse has a higher face-off percentage than Duke this season, but Duke wins. Blue Devils trying to take a 3-1 lead. Great passing. Great save by Rozier. Tremendous save. And it looked like Duke fell into the crease.
Now, that's going to be an illegal pick. Blocked him out of the way. Watch the save, though. Watch Rozier. Look, is it high? Now he goes down, gets the foot up. And then gets the stick down to cover it up. And there's the push right there that gave the ball back to Duke, but Rozier looked like he had him stick on stick and then got the right leg out. Great job. You know what you got to have? Mike Pressler and Coach Simmons will tell you, you need a hot goaltender. So far, we got 2 guys getting hot in this NCAA game.
Duke leading Syracuse 2-1. The Blue Devils with the ball. Syracuse tries for the double team. Duke able to evade it. Matt Ogelsby spotting the open man. They swing it around to Harrison. His shot goes wide off the side of the net and picked up by Rozier. Rozier, nice look upfield. Fotopoulos running with the ball for Syracuse. Christian feeds to the middle to Lockwood. Looked like that was a pass.
He was looking for the crease.
It did go on goal, and it was picked off by the goaltender, Kirmser. And Duke races upfield.
Mark Allen, the defenseman, still has the ball. He got that 6-foot stick, and he's going to go out as they're going to change on the fly, and Duke waits and settles until they get number 27 in, Fennell, 5'11", 195-pound midfielder.
Duke with more shots. We've played about 3.5 minutes. Duke has had the ball most of the time in the early going of this game. Matt Ogelsby, midfielder with the ball from the Philadelphia area, and a great squash player in addition to lacrosse. He shoots and he beats Rozier. 3-1, Duke.
Well, one of the things they did there is they got Ogelsby way out on top against a big stick, and there was no help. Watch Fotopoulos. He gets no help. They're afraid to leave him on the crease, and now finally Beardsley slides over, but it's just a stick side shot that not handleable by Rozier. So Ogelsby comes up with a goal, and they console Rozier. You can't get a goalie get down on himself. Back to the face-off circle where we have spent a lot of this first 3.5 minutes.
That is a key thing in lacrosse. If you get off to a slow start in the goal, you've got to remember there's a long time to go. Syracuse trying to cut it back to one. Finn with the shot, but it goes wide. It tickled net, and the fans responded, but it was the side of the net. Duke trying to take a 3-goal lead. And the Devils really forcing the issue on offense. I don't think Syracuse expected that.
Well, one of the oh, nice steal there. Is that
Schmid with the takeaway attempt, tries to save it, and it's out of bounds off Syracuse. Duke will get the ball.
One of the things that Mike Pressler talked about was the fact that we like the transition game also, and that's how they got one of their goals off of that missed shot by Charlie Lockwood, and then they bounced it out, made the nice passes, and then they got Fotopoulos one-on-one way out at the top, and they're on top by 2, 3-1.
Mike Pressler told you that before the game, and I wasn't so sure I believed him, but he was definitely a man of his word. Mike Riddick applying some stick, unable to come up with a takeaway. Jim Ganella from Beeville held on to the ball. Now it goes wide, and it rolls over the sideline. They say it was off on Syracuse. Rick Beardsley just kind of patting the official to say good call. Crowd didn't like it, and John Desko, Syracuse's assistant coach, held up his arms as if to say, what was that call? Duke with the ball, leading 3-1. That shot goes high. James Heavey was behind the cage and was the nearest man when it went out of bounds, so Duke has the ball.
Set up in a 1-4-1, and talking to the coach, they said this is their ball control offense, this 1-4-1. You got 4 guys up along the crease, spread out 1 guy out on top, and then they just replace and move and always have somebody in that configuration. It allows them to use the outside portion of the box and take time.
Alex Witten with the ball. Mark Fietta trying for the takeaway. Back to Jim Ganella. Ganella with the pass. Now the ball is loose. Fietta running after it for Syracuse. The race is on. Still in bounds.
Boy, they are playing it right close to the vest over there. Syracuse is going to lose it, but not for a lack of hustle. Fotopoulos was over there, but also they really had a lot of people on the ball. They thought it might stop. It did not.
Duke with nearly twice as many shots in the first 5 minutes of this game. 3-1, Duke leading. Clayton, Allen, and Ogelsby have scored for Duke. Dom Finn has the Syracuse goal. Duke trying to pull off the upset and deny Syracuse a trip to the Final Four. Since the Final Four format was adopted, Syracuse has never not made it. There's a shot and a goal. Steve Fennell, the 4th different Blue Devil to score. Duke has come out rolling and leads Syracuse 4-1.
There's a long slide here by Wittick, I think, 45. Watch what happens. Now they're going to come over. Now they got to pick up the 1 guy in the crease. Now they come to hit, and they miss. He picks his own man off, and that allows an unmolested shot by Fennell, and that's going to call a timeout. 4-1.
Duke has twice as many shots as Syracuse, a 4-1 lead on the scoreboard, and there's goalie Alex Rozier. If you could read his lips there, it looked like he said what a lot of young people say today. It's my most hated expression, my bad, which is terrible grammatically, but it's what everyone seems to say these days to indicate my fault.
When they could just as easily say, my fault. Well, you know, he knows what happened, but indeed he didn't get a lot of help on that one either. Watch, now Whittick is going to slide over here. He's going to come way over, but when he goes to Fennell, he doesn't get him. And Fennell, watch, he brings the stick back around. He's unmolested, not able to get stick on stick, and he takes a pretty hard shot at Rozier, and Rozier's saying, hey, what happened? Somebody's supposed to have picked him up, or when you hit him, knock him down. But that's one of those breaks of the game when you jump and you don't get the guy. The problem is you've probably taken yourself out of the play and given somebody a pretty clear shot. And Rozier coming in, as you said, just about the same as Kirmser from Duke. And so far he has been had more good shots taken at him.
Mm-hmm. He might have said "my bad" a little while ago, but as you can tell by that replay, that goal was definitely not his fault. Good shot in the upper corner. Man broke through free, and that's next to impossible to save. Syracuse needs the ball, trailing 4-1. It is early. Toby Price comes up with it very cleanly for Syracuse. But the pass attempted for Doyle is off the mark, and a Duke player is down hurt.
That's going to be against Duke. So.
Joe Proud of West Genesee High School called for a 1-minute violation.
Yeah, it was an illegal check. It was more than 5 yards from the ball. You can generally hit somebody if you hit them from the front if they're within 5 yards of the ball, but he wasn't within 15 yards of the ball. So Proud is going to have to take a minute, and Syracuse gets first man up opportunity, and down 4-1, you would expect they have to take their time and put this one in.
Teams are scoring on Duke about 1/3 of the time in the man-up situations. Syracuse does better than that offensively when they're a man up. Dom Finn shoots and scores. He has both Syracuse goals, and Joe Proud's penalty in front of his folks and friends and relatives coming back to the Syracuse area proves costly for Duke.
17 seconds in the penalty, and there's that left-hand shot and a nice screen on the crease by a Syracuse player, and Finn really put the burn on the net there. 8:59 left, Syracuse within 2. First man-up goal opportunity, and they take advantage of it.
Toby Price will try to win another draw.
Both teams using a big stick guy on the wing, and Syracuse up with a face-off, and they're going to get the big stick Fotopoulos off and get a short stick midfielder on.
Jim Morrissey with the ball. Morrissey being poked by Chris Affolter.
Beardsley's down there with the stick, and he's going to go back. He went down in the crease to line up to play with that big 6-foot pole, and they have replaced him now. And now Charlie Lockwood comes back on, out of the box, just into your picture, number 22.
Mark Fietta has the ball for Syracuse. Fietta, spin move, backs away from the double team. This is Casey Donegan, shot goes wide, Syracuse is there.
Syracuse trying to get the ball in, feed the crease. Got a shot off, but they had good backup.
Matt Doyle with the ball for the Orange. Joe Proud defending against him.
That's a good flag. Nice
Great
look.
It hit the pipe. Shot taken by Morrissey. The goalie, Kirmser, had no chance, but it hit the post.
Yeah, that was a sound penalty too. You can right there. There's one. There's another one. He looked like he was, watch this flag. Got good height on that, I'd say about 20. He came up on the head, and now watch, they finished the playoff though, got the shot off, not able to put it in, but Syracuse gets another man-up opportunity, and that's 2 in a row in about a minute. They've had 2, this is their second man-up opportunity.
So not a good start for the former West Genny defensive star, Joe Proud. It's about as big as it gets in lacrosse. He's 6'4", 240.
Yeah, you don't get much bigger than that. And he's down again.
Charlie Lockwood saved by Kirmser. The race is on, and Syracuse was closest. The freshman Rob Kavovit was closest to the end line.
Kavovit did a nice job. There's Proud. Kavovit, boy, they like him. They like his attitude. Not only the way he plays lacrosse, but very coachable. Lockwood jump shot.
Picked up by Kavovit. That's off the side of the net.
Syracuse getting some shots off. Fast break for Duke.
Rick Beardsley had that one lined up 10 yards away, and he stands over his fallen victim. Syracuse with the ball. Colsey, he'll shoot, saved by Kirmser. And now the timeout for the injured Duke player who got leveled, and how, by Rick Beardsley. It was clean. Beardsley saw the player coming, looking for the ball, had no idea that he was going to be there for the hit, and he flat out crushed the Duke player.
That's 24. Is that Witten, I think?
He made the pass.
He made the pass. All right, okay, it's 34. It's Affolter that gets hit, and that was a clean hit. You know, the thing was, everybody saw it coming except Affolter. And you can hear the titanium hit as both guys' sticks collided, but yeah, he had him lined up.
Affolter is a Central New York kid. He's from Ithaca High School, where he played football in addition to lacrosse. Having an excellent season. He's a senior tri-captain.
I got to believe he just got the wind knocked out of him. He doesn't look like he took it on the head, and Mike Pressler just checking it out, talking to his players while he gets a little, perhaps, unfortunate timeout. As you can see right there, that's all legal. And Affolter just did not see him coming. He'll get a nice round of applause. It was indeed just got the wind knocked out of him, which is fortunate.
Looks fine as he jogs off the field, so I'm sure we will see Chris Affolter return to the lineup for Duke. There's the goalie, Joe Kirmser, out of Wilton, Connecticut, which is something of a Duke farm club. Head coach Mike Pressler played there in high school, and 5 of his players are from that school, in addition to one of his assistant coaches.
Syracuse putting a tough ride on now.
And the interception by Colsey. Kirmser racing to get back in the cage. Colsey trying the behind-the-back pass. It was knocked away by Duke, and here come the Blue Devils. A little too fancy there by Colsey.
Just going to say, perhaps not the most advisable pass. You know, I think the surprise was gone, and there's going to be a penalty against Syracuse. Let's see what we're going to get. Flag is down. It's going to be an offside penalty, I think, against Syracuse.
Offsides, 3 in the white, 30-second tight down.
That's Colsey. So he had a little problem with the pass, and then was offside. But I think the surprise was gone. Maybe let's settle it down. Watch. Kirmser had gotten back into goal. They had ridden it off and really looked like he was trying to get it into the inside, but
I was a little surprised he didn't shoot earlier when Kirmser was running to get back in goal.
Right, they really did a pretty good job of picking him up. So this is a man-up opportunity. 30 seconds.
Leading 4-2.
Oh,
Ganella with a good recovery. Now the shot saved by Rozier.
big save by Rozier.
His outlet attempt to Smiley off his cross and picked up by Duke. Ganella passed forward to Scott Harrison.
Penalty's
Back
over.
to Jim Cannella.
This is where they can score him. Syracuse just, now they're even. Everybody's got to pick up. And they're still talking about who's got what player from Duke. Now I think they've finally settled on who's got what number.
Yeah, it looks like a white jersey matches every
Right.
blue.
Yep.
This is Ogelsby. He scored once. Riddick, who is a hard hitter, watches him.
Now this is just almost an isolation. You're taking somebody way, way out on top, and now he gives it up. But sometimes you can deal like that and get a good break, force a slide, and get the ball inside. Right now, they've gotten it behind.
Russ Moscatelli behind the cage. Looks like he's going to try to back in. Makes the spin move. Passes across to Ganella. Off his stick. It's rolling toward the end line, and we have a whistle and a penalty flag.
Is that Wittick? That's going to be an illegal check. Yeah, that's going to cost him a minute.
1 minute illegal body check.
Terry Cohen, the official, lets us know what happened. Watch 45. Let's see what. Yeah, that was just a tad high. You can hit him from the shoulders down, but not from the shoulders up. So a minute and another opportunity for Duke. This is their second opportunity. Did not cash in on the first one.
Duke converts in the man up about 38% of the time.
That's pretty good.
Open opportunity, shot goes wide. A break for Rozier.
Did you see
Scott
Rozier?
Harrison with the open shot.
Protected the pipe very well. That's the first thing. You got to use that pipe, get that shoulder up tight, make them get it around you. And Rozier, nice movement. There's the penalty situation. Both teams even in that department.
Syracuse has scored once in the man up.
About 30 seconds left in that minute penalty to Syracuse.
Duke stays fairly close to the cage in the man up. Again, there's the good look in front, and the shot goes wide. And the player who missed, Mike Clayton out of Baldwinsville, pounded the turf in disgust at himself after firing it wide.
They have a nice extra man. They get people open quite a bit, and Clayton just blew the shot. Ooh, that was a stick and then off the pipe. That stays Duke ball. They were closest to it, but Rozier was on that one too. And they continue to pound the shots at him. They've got number 12 at him. That was the 12th shot that Rozier faced.
6 seconds left in the penalty to Mike Wittick. And there is Mike Pressler, the 33-year-old head coach of Duke, leading his program to unprecedented heights. They won their first NCAA tournament game ever last week at home over Maryland.
They're even now.
Syracuse trying to match up defensively. Bad backward pass, still rolling. If it goes out, Syracuse will get it.
Yeah, they should get it. And you know, the advantage there is it rolled another 20 yards downfield, Dan. They won't even have to clear it. It'll be cleared for them as it went off the Duke player.
If you throw a pass out of bounds, the other team gets it. If you take a shot that goes out of bounds, you have a chance of holding on to the ball if your man is nearest when it goes out of bounds.
And I'll tell you what, on this artificial turf, you take a pass like that, it's going to roll forever.
Fietta with the ball for Syracuse. Faked the back pass to Doyle. He's looking in front. A couple of cutters ran through, no pass there. Now Lockwood swings behind. Jim Morrissey. Back to Charlie Lockwood. Syracuse down 4-2. Lockwood makes a move. Now pulls it back and passes across to Morrissey. Morrissey takes a turn. He'll shoot. Goes wide. Doyle was there.
Now this is the patterned offense that, you know, Syracuse does run, but most people are used to seeing that up and down transition game. So as you move along in this NCAA tournament, you've got to have all phases of your game together.
Senior Casey Donegan lost the ball. And it's a penalty.
It was a play
on the Blue Devils.
Yeah, it was a play on. That was number 32 who knocked him down, Ross Thompson, 6 foot 210. Watch. Now the ball goes out, but now watch. Then Thompson applies the pressure from behind. Nice camera work. One-handed shot.
That was a shot, so Syracuse will hold on.
Dave Stilley, a defenseman, 6'2", 215. You said these guys are big, and you are right. He could not get to the end line, so Syracuse will retain the ball, but they've got some size. Stilley's going to come out, and they are going to replace him with Witten, 6'3", 195.
Dangerous pass, and nice footwork there by Fietta. Fietta with a great spin move. He shoots, he scores. What a goal for Fietta.
He did two great things here. Watch the footwork. Watch when he gets the ball. All right, that's that out of bounds is the yellow line. All right, now he comes back, and now watch. They're going to come over and jump him. Inside roll. Takes a left-handed shot as he beat both Mahoney and Collins 9 to get the goal. Fietta, as you said, a great spin move, brings it to 4-3.
Had he been knocked out of bounds at the beginning of that play, Duke would have had the ball. So it was a great play just to stay in bounds to begin with. Duke had a 4-1 lead. Syracuse has scored the last 2 goals, so it's 4-3. Blue Devils with the ball. Ross Moscatelli, watched by Roy Colsey. Now the ball is loose. Beardsley fishing after it, and he comes up with it and spins away from Scott Harrison. Roy Colsey sprinting upfield for Syracuse. Colsey gives it up.
Whoa.
The shot saved by Kirmser. Off, it looked like it hit the handle and then bounded over the goal.
Signor took one of those low rising shots. You know, for being so big, I've been impressed with the footwork of these big defensemen. And they're really taking it way out on top.
Colsey has an opening. Here it comes. Great save by Kirmser.
Yeah, interference. Signor went by and tapped it right out of his stick. And that'll give him a free clear.
Colsey doesn't miss very often in these opportunities.
No, he doesn't. He took a nice shot, but Kirmser, who's been tough. Now here's the rebound. Watch, he gets the ball. He gets it right out. He's still in the crease. As long as one foot's in, he can extend out like that, and you can't whap him, and that's exactly what happened. They get a free clear, and they're right over midfield and ready to go at Syracuse again.
One more step and the play's legal.
Yeah, if he even lifted his foot up, he's out of the crease. That back foot, but he knows where he is in there and didn't make the mistake.
You see the time remaining in the first quarter, Duke leading 4-3.
Seriously, Rourke Denver in defensively for Syracuse. You know, one of the things that depth can become a kind of a problematical thing depending on how close the game is in the fourth quarter.
Freshman Jim Ganella. Now the ball is loose. Duke will have to try and keep it in, and a nice play to save it in by number 8, Ken Fazzanero. Nice takeaway by Smith. Ganella got it back, and Rozier made the save, but he didn't get it free. Ganella spinning the pass in front, and that one's picked off by Hans Schmid. 2 big sticks up for Syracuse.
Rourke Denver.
Jim Morrissey with the ball. Now back to Whittick.
Now, they don't want to force it like I think they did the last time. You got 2 guys with 6-foot poles down there. Get it behind, check the situation out. The thing is now you can get doubled. They gotta get some people in. They're letting him go all by himself back there. Donegan.
And 30 seconds left in the quarter. Syracuse trying to tie it by the end of number 1. Donegan with a jump shot, saved by Kirmser. The saves are adding up for the sophomore Joe Kirmser.
Affolter played good defense on that for Duke. Now, Duke trying to get the last shot off.
10 seconds left in the quarter. Ogelsby, he scored once. Syracuse jumps him. Ogelsby whips a shot toward the goal. Rozier knocked it away, and a whistle against Syracuse.
Oh, they're going to call a slash. Now, what you do now is you hold on to the ball for 3 seconds. You're going to get the face off, and you're up a man for 57 seconds. So that's exactly what Duke will do, I'm sure.
47, 1 minute, 3 seconds remaining in the first period.
So far, it's been Syracuse having some penalties that have cost him at crucial times. This one's going to cost him a face-off attempt, and then will be man down. Let's see what happens.
So Duke holds on to the ball till the quarter ends. That will give the Blue Devils the possession to begin the second quarter, since they're in the man-up situation. There will be no face-off to begin the second quarter.
You know, we talked about sticks. You don't see it now, but they just grab the stick and they check them at the end of each quarter. So these sticks are an important part of the game.
At the end of 1, it's Duke 4, Syracuse 3. Dan Horton, Dale Drypulcher back at the Carrier Dome. Duke up by 1 at the end of the first quarter. The winner of this game will play either Virginia or North Carolina next Saturday at noon in the Final Four. Early score in that game, 2-1 Tar Heels in the first quarter.
A lot of ACC teams.
Great game today between Johns Hopkins and Princeton. It'll be interesting to see who pulls that one out. Duke with the ball in the man-up situation. Beardsley on the sidelines for Syracuse. Shot and saved by Rozier. That was a great save. There was a lot on that shot by Moscatelli. Moscatelli gets the ball back. 25 seconds left in the Syracuse penalty.
That was a goal. He robbed him there. That was a great save by Rozier.
Rozier started a bit slowly, but he's made some good saves after Duke took a 4-1 lead.
Duke on their extra man really able to hit that open guy.
Bounce shot hits the post.
Got a little break from the pipe as they go out of bounds and get the ball back, but he really did a nice job of doing that. There's the stats, 14-17 shots, fairly even. Syracuse in the lead, 8-4 saves, and Rozier getting hot ground balls, even penalties, 2 for Duke, 3 for Syracuse, and clears. Nobody's had a lot of problem clearing yet, but right now Syracuse has got about, I think they're even.
They are even, but Duke scores as Syracuse tries to match back up on defense. Mike Clayton with his second goal of the game. They have both been left-handed. That is his strong side, and Duke has a 2-goal lead again at 5-3.
I'd like a buck for every time that happens. Anytime when all of a sudden the penalty's over, and I think there's a transition time between going from your man-down defense to your other defense, and right there was the result. And Rozier's down on himself. He shouldn't be. They had a clear shot. He had some great saves in that flurry. Stopped 2 or 3 shots.
So Baldwinsville High's Mike Clayton scored 2 of the 5 Duke goals. Came into the game with 19 this season.
Toby Price gets the face-off and leaves. Oh, poor pass. Syracuse making some uncharacteristic mistakes.
Good play by Chad Smith to poke that forward to Hans Schmid. However, his attempt to get it upfield, rolling toward the sideline, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah,
Good hustle by Fietta to try to run it down.
Absolutely, and one of the problems is they shouldn't have been in that situation. They've a little bit sloppy there. So a 2-goal lead, a lot of time left, but Syracuse making some uncharacteristic errors. This is a good Duke team. Let's take nothing away from them. Oh, nice job. That's a cheap. Let me just get rid of this because I'm losing it here.
Picked up by Beardsley. Fires it upfield, attempted for Morrissey, and a good defensive play by Duke. Affolter, who's come back into the game after that big hit from Beardsley, came away with a takeaway for the Blue Devils. Going to be an offside penalty against Duke, and head coach Mike Pressler is going bananas.
Mike Pressler told me, he says, you know, I got pretty thick glasses. I don't see much, so I probably won't be yelling about anything. He certainly was stressed there.
Syracuse with the ball. Charlie Lockwood has it in front of the cage, about 10 yards out. Takes the shot, hits the post.
Gets a pipe, and that's going to be Duke ball. Duke ball. Good hustle by Duke's Bo Mahoney. He has played well from Denver, Colorado. He was over at that line, and Charlie Lockwood, scoreless at this point, but has taken some good shots. That one was a pipe. So now you got to play a little defense. On Schmid, Beardsley, and Smith in defensively.
Joe
Big
Proud
stick.
with the ball.
And he went back in after they cleared it out, so that'll cost him possession. I was just going to say Fotopoulos just coming out now. The big stick has been playing well for Syracuse, but it's turnaround and a nice shot and a save.
Goes out of bounds, and Syracuse will have it. That was the first shot taken by Donegan was a windmill shot. That was saved, and as the ball rolled forward, Morrissey almost swatted it in.
Yeah, don't look away for a second, boy. Proud with the knee brace on that right knee, number 41. He's had some knee problems.
First injured it in high school and then missed last season and got a redshirt season. Lockwood shot wide. Morrissey there for Syracuse. Charlie Lockwood's had some good opportunities, but so far has been just a little off the mark. Charlie playing his last Dome game, along with Dom Finn, Casey Donegan, and the rest of the Syracuse senior class. Roy Colsey with the ball. Colsey has not scored yet. Takes the shot, and the high shot saved by Kirmser. Duke with the ball, leading 5-3. I think the crowd helped out Ogelsby. Charlie Lockwood was sneaking in behind, and the crowd began to react. Pass back, attempted by Ogelsby, and it's picked off by Charlie Lockwood. Dom Finn with it. Back to Lockwood. Charlie cranks it, shoots, and scores. He actually faked the big shot, faked the laser, and then opted for a little more touch and aim as he bounced it by Kirmser.
Yep. If they bring him down, he'd set it up with the one pass. Now he gets the pass back. Watch him crank. I'll just drop her and go left as he brought Ross Thompson, a defenseman, out and got him to go for the right-handed shot and then went back left. And he just beat Kirmser cleanly with a left-handed shot. And a little frustrated, I think, for Charlie. He's taken some great shots. That's the first one that's gone in the hole. 5-4, Syracuse back within one.
31 goals for Charlie Lockwood this season. That's second on the ball club behind Roy Colsey's 40. Signor wins the draw for Syracuse. And that loose ball picked up by Matt Doyle.
It was Sullivan that helped out, 21.
Fietta drawing 2 defenders. His shot saved by Kirmser. And the looping pass upfield taken by Beardsley of Syracuse. Rick Beardsley shoots, and that 100-mile-an-hour bullet was high. Syracuse will have the ball, and Beardsley leads the cheers.
You know, you'd like to think that he saw Morrissey as a backup and figured, what the heck, I got a backup anyway.
Either that or there was a metal chair in the third row that needed a dent.
He's only a junior. He'll be back. Right now, Syracuse is back with the ball. Kind of little short hop, and it doesn't go.
Signor's bounce shot bounced a little bit too early and then went high. There is Dave Signor, the transfer from Herkimer Community College.
You know, Mike Brusser told me that if Kirmser had 20 to 25 saves, he thought they'd be in real good shape. He's got 12 already. He's made another one right there.
No goal. Syracuse started jumping up and down, but the official nearest the play ruled that it did not cross the line.
That's a replay shot. Oh, nice deflection.
Chad Smith had the deflection, but the loose ball is picked up by Duke. Danella with a pass and a whistle before Harrison can shoot.
Timeout Blue. Yeah, they had an unsettled situation. They called a quick timeout. I think Coach Bressler wants him to settle down. Let's watch Kirmser. Watch him step and get his feet right down where the ball is. There you look. And now look, there it is behind his foot. All it's got to do is cross that white line, and maybe we can look at it again. It does not have to touch the net. All it's got to do is cross that white line. At any rate, no matter whether it did or it didn't, it's 5-4. And Mike Brusser in his huddle with his team. Coach
Bressler
Simmons.
in his fourth year at Duke. Prior to that, he had coached at Ohio Wesleyan. And there is Roy Simmons Jr., who has obviously spent all of his career at Syracuse, looking for his 6th national championship.
He would have taken one if they could have gotten this one. There's Morrissey with a shot. Now watch. See the ball? All it's got to do is cross that white line. Look real close there. The defenseman reached between the legs of Kirmser.
It's a good play.
Saved him. Absolutely. Looked like that was a good play.
Outside the box. Outside yards above the goal box.
So outside the box, Duke will get the ball.
Yeah, let me have one of the balls. Hey, thanks.
Duke has never trailed in this game. The Blue Devils stormed out to a 4-1 lead. Syracuse has scratched its way back. It's 5-4 Duke.
Oh, big jump there. No, deflection by that Schmid. Hans Schmid got a stick up on it.
Duke still has the ball. This is Bo Mahoney. Whittick guards him.
It looked like an ISO out there, way out. See if he can beat Whittick one-on-one. And he doesn't. Takes it back, takes his time, looks for a break for the back door.
Seems like Duke has done that a few times to Whittick in the game. That shot didn't have that much on it. Rozier was there to make the save. And it's Chad Smith able to clear it for Syracuse. The Orangemen trying for the tie. Smith, bounce shot, up and over the net, and Matt Doyle was there.
So they got the ball down, got the shot off. Whittick did a nice job of faking it, going out. And
Doyle loses the ball. Joe Proud has it.
Oh.
Tries to shovel it forward. Colsey stepped in between but couldn't come up with the ball cleanly. And Bo Mahoney runs upfield.
He's played a good game, Mahoney. And they get the ball down and settle it down to the man behind, gives it way out on top.
And it's Ogelsby, the junior from Bryn Mawr, PA.
You can look at them there covering up the crease. And they're all offset on one side. Now they break from behind, looking for that shot. Maybe somebody breaking from behind the back door, behind the cage. Now they spread him out again, looking for if he's going to get any help. If they beat Whittick, they got to go a long way to help Whittick. Watch. See, now Beardsley comes over. Whittick took the ball away from him, loses it, but Beardsley's there to knock him away.
And Syracuse gets it. Good jump by Beardsley after the initial takeaway by Whittick.
Absolutely. You know, that long jump, you want this to happen. You want a guy to say, he's got to come 10 yards, and then if I get the ball, he's out of position. All I got to do is get the ball back. But if you've jumped, you better make sure you get the ball. And Beardsley and Whittick teamed up perfectly there to make the ball go out of bounds.
Beardsley pounced the moment he saw the ball come free.
Well, that's why he's an All-American defenseman. They're going to lose that one. Beardsley, not a good pass, out of bounds, and Dom Finn was the intended target.
A little sloppy there by Roy Simmons Jr.'s ball club.
One of the things that we talked about, making some uncharacteristic mistakes, but they have been playing defense a lot at the midfield.
5-4, Duke leading Syracuse. You see the clears. Each team has converted all but 2 times. Eight minutes left in the first half. Shot taken. Goes wide. And Rozier is there for Syracuse.
Now they'll have to clear. Rozier's going to have the ball way back down. They've started. He got it off to Beardsley.
And upfield to Chad Smith. Smith avoids the poke. And flips it back to Roy Colsey. Colsey with some open yardage. That's dangerous for Duke.
Well, they double team him right away when he gets down there. Nice check. That was Clayton with the one-hand check.
Colsey was almost able to golf the bouncing ball in, but the shot on goal was saved.
I've been impressed with their midfield defense, their defense in general. Duke has really played exceptionally well.
7:10 left in the half. Ogelsby with the ball for Duke. Ogelsby with an opening. Hard shot saved by Rozier. And here comes Syracuse. It's Eisenberg. Dom Finn looking for his 3rd goal. He scores. And Syracuse has tied it at 5.
Good look at the fans here. They like that. As Syracuse finally gets back to even, and Finn, there he is. He beats Clayton. They try to get stick on stick with him, and he had Kirmser out of position. Kirmser was no way able to step over and even challenge that ball. So it ties it up as Finn has had quite a half with 3 goals.
Dom with 23 goals and 13 assists this season. Syracuse has rallied from a 3-goal deficit to tie at 5.
Faceoffs lately have been going Syracuse way. Let's see who gets this one.
And it's Mark Fietta. And a quick pass forward. Dave Signor to Charlie Lockwood. The laser. Saved by Kirmser.
Goes the other way. Defenseman.
Affolter.
Cleared the ball.
And he still has it for Duke.
No,
Jim Ganella.
That save of Kirmser, that's called putting yourself in harm's way.
Ganella with the ball for Duke.
They're going to get the people on. Now they're going to take the ball behind.
Freshman from Baldwinsville with it. Has an open shot. Goes wide. Rozier was in good position, forcing the shot to go wide. And you can see Rozier is pumped up with the fact that he has really come on strong after allowing some early goals.
He had great anticipation. You see him start to move as soon as the man started his move with the stick. He anticipated, moved to the right spot, and got on it. And he's got 10 saves. So both guys in double figures, 13 for Duke, but 10 for Rozier, and a nice one last time out.
Alex Whitten with the ball going one-on-one against Toby Price. The game tied at 5 in the second quarter. Open shot, there's a goal. Ross Moscatelli, the second leading goal scorer for Duke, with a low left-handed shot to give the Blue Devils a 6-5 lead.
They had some problems there too. Heavey was loose on the crease, number 7. Watch. Nobody had him. See him as he just cleared out now. They scored. There's Heavey, 7. But they had some defensive problems about who's picking up what player, and you can see it again. The crease was wide open. See, he went across. Nobody was on him. And then there's the shot that scores by Moscatelli. But after that goal, Dan, Rozier called the defense together and said, look, there's people open on the crease. Make sure you've got your man.
Looked like Duke was going to have that draw, and the Blue Devils are able to come up with it. Joe Donovan cradling the ball for the Blue Devils. And Duke sets up with a 6-5 lead. Donovan guarded by Lockwood behind the cage. Charlie with a little bit of a push. Chad Smith tries to pick him up, but Duke holds on. Looping pass behind to Bo Mahoney.
Mahoney, as they very patiently bring out an isolation stack all the way over on the left and bring just an isolation with Price. Intercepted.
Great pickoff by Beardsley, and the little shovel pass to Rozier. Nice play by Beardsley. And Lockwood will start it up for Syracuse. The Orangemen trying to tie again. Charlie loses his footing, and here comes Duke. Nice play by Joe Donovan.
Absolutely. He just knocked him down, took the ball away from him. Charlie maybe forced him a little bit. Comes back and plays a little defense. They got some. Now they're Syracuse trying to pick up again as they run that same offense, kind of overloaded to the left as they bring number 3, Mahoney, down all by himself. You see, this is where they take their time. Now they're sending some people out. You can see on the wide shot that they are getting people in and out. Donovan's leaving.
Ogelsby takes the pass from Mahoney and now flips it back to Mike Clayton, who has scored 2 goals.
They try to lull you to sleep with this, Dan. They got you thinking that they're just going to take their time, and all of a sudden somebody makes a break. They're getting a break of somebody out of the box, but this is the kind of offense. You can see why in some games they've only gotten off 30 or 40 shots.
That shot was knocked away before it got to Rozier. And the race to the ball won by Scott Harrison, kind of warding off Charlie Lockwood in the process.
Lockwood hustling. Syracuse gets a defensive middies in. Wittick and Fotopoulos with the big stick, 27, checks in.
And Lockwood running off. Duke led by 1 after 1, and the Blue Devils still lead by 1, 6-5. Syracuse has outshot Duke by 6. I don't know how that shot didn't go in. Seemed to bounce right by the line. And Duke digs up the free ball. Nice check from behind by Wittick.
That was a great check. The goalie was dead meat. Beardsley's got to get the ball out. The fans are up and excited. I don't know what the call is. Timeout, Syracuse. Watch, this ball was down. Wittick did a great job. Watch a one-hand check. Ball, there's a save. Then it's back down again. And you can see the physical nature of the game as they are really working hard. Now, scoops up the ball all by himself. Is that Heavey? And there's the check. Knocked the ball back down, so Heavey lost it. Now, if we continue on, you're going to see a great hit here as Beardsley angles up the sideline. He's being chased by Harrison, but watch what he does. He's going to lower the shoulder. We don't see it, but he collided with a Duke player just as Syracuse was calling timeout, so they got the timeout.
Syracuse has used up its first half timeouts. We've been hearing the ball hit the pipe a lot in the first half. 9 pipe shots.
That's a good statistic. Yeah, they've had a lot of pipes. You get a look at the hit. I think that's number 8 there, Fazzinato from Duke. And that's what Beardsley says. If you're coming over here, you better be loaded for bear because I'm not going to take anything on the sideline. And they got a timeout called just before that, so Beardsley will get the ball most likely in his stick, and he jokes with the official, I'm sure. There's Rozier. He has been hot today, and as we said, one of the things anybody looks for in the playoffs is a hot goalie.
Syracuse certainly had one last year, and Chris Saran, particularly in the championship win over North Carolina. Syracuse with the ball, 2:50 left in the half, and Roy Colsey has it.
Bring it around. Syracuse being a little patient on offense now.
And it's Doyle pulling up even with the cage. Back to Colsey. Colsey, no goals yet. Probably won't last. Dom Finn has already scored 3 times. He cradles the ball with the left hand for Syracuse.
Affolter on him.
Looks like Dom wants to draw a couple of defenders.
Yeah, he's looking to get the double and then drop it off. But good defense by Duke. There's a double.
Great pass by Colsey.
Nice save.
Cavavent, perhaps one spin too many before taking the shot. Good behind the back pass by Colsey. Dangerous, but he pulled it off.
Dangerous, but pretty. Let's see. We might be able to get a look at that save. Yeah.
Now it's Morrissey directly behind the cage. Pulls in front and scores. Great sweeping shot by Jim Morrissey, the sophomore, who has 29 goals in his sophomore season.
That's right. He's a sophomore out of Skaneateles, and he makes a great move and then takes the nice low shot. Actually, Witten, 24, was on him, but he couldn't get stick to stick with him. And Dan, as you so definitely demonstrated, he put it down low and did a wrist shot. 6-6.
And that's the first goal scored by a Syracuse attackman. Previous 5 had come from the midfielders. Signor wins the draw for Syracuse. Looks to outrun his defender. Now gives up the ball to Cavavent. The freshman quickly feeds behind the cage to Morrissey. He looks in front for Sullivan.
Oh, another pipe.
Pipe number 10.
Oh, let's see who's off. Let's see who's going to make the call.
And Syracuse will get it.
Coach Simmons had the call. I saw him down there pointing in the direction while the ball was still in the air. He knew who was off. But if you're keeping track, scoring at home, folks.
The goalie's best friend making some great saves.
Yes, that's the inside of the pipe. Saved that. Bounced it back up in the air. They still had timeout. I think it'd be a discussion between the officials. One of the officials said, I didn't give enough time. The other one wanted to call an illegal procedure. See right there. That's exactly what happened. The one official turned and said, no, I didn't give enough time to start. And the bench official said, oh, no, you had enough time. That's illegal procedure. So, and in lacrosse, that's it. You're back. You've lost. You got to go back and play defense. You can't let it bother you.
Duke with a successful clear.
Timeout, Duke.
So with 1:10 left in the half, Duke burns its last timeout. And Mike Pressler will orchestrate his strategy, trying to take the lead before the halftime buzzer.
Well, I think he's got to be pleased. This is a low-scoring game, fairly. He's really got good defense out of his midfielders, and his close defense done a good job, and his goalie's hot. At Syracuse, they're mirroring each other. That's why the score is so close, obviously, 6-6. Both teams playing well. I think Syracuse had a little bit of sloppiness, Dan, that maybe cost them a goal or two, but Kirmser's been hot, and you get a good look at him. And Pressler really likes him. Said that he's the reason we are where we are.
On a pace for a 28-save day, which is almost unheard of in lacrosse. He was the MVP in the big win over Virginia, and he had 16 saves in that game. And he has 14 in the first half today.
Well, they figured, as I said, Mike Pressler said, if he has up to close to 20 to 25 saves, we'll be in good shape. Of course, if somebody takes 100 shots, and Syracuse has gotten a lot of shots off traditionally. They're up to 35 already. While Duke has 26. 25, 24, okay. A little white out there on the on the scorecard. 24, so Syracuse out shooting them by 11.
Duke with the ball, a little more than a minute left in the half. Scott Harrison, the All-America candidate, now gives it up to Jim Ganella. 1 minute left in the half. Moscatelli with the ball. And it comes back out to Ganella. Two-time high school All-American from Baldwinsville. Good soccer player there and hoops player in addition to lacrosse. See the time remaining in the half as Duke tries to snap a 6-all tie.
Using a 1-4-1, you can see there one guy behind, 4 guys up in the crease, and one guy way out on top trying to get a jump, and then says, hey, if I get jumped, I'll get rid of it. Flag down. Oh!
Shot in the goal. Ross Moscatelli with his second goal of the half.
What's important what this call is. Oh, they're going to be down a minute to boot, so they're going to give up a goal, and you're going to see Moscatelli take a left-handed shot, just a sweep and a jump, hit Rozier, but he could not control the ball. As they got the ball off to Moscatelli, just takes a left-handed shot. They're going to call a slash, so this face-off becomes important. If Syracuse can get the face-off, it will help, because they are going to be down one man for the rest of this game, or excuse me, the rest of this half.
Syracuse has done very well, as you see, on face-offs. This is a big one. And Syracuse almost had it. Fotopoulos had it in his cross. The race on for the ground ball. Duke had it.
Good hit.
Price with the hit.
Oh, no.
And the flag.
Thought it was a good hit. So now Syracuse will be down for 2 men as a push was called. Let's see. You make the call here. Let's see if it's from behind. Started out in the front, but that's going to cost Toby 30, and now they're going to be 2 men down. 49 seconds in the first, 30 in the second penalty.
So 2 down for 19 seconds, but only 13 left in the half.
Right.
Duke might as well try and take a shot.
Well, you got to hope that if you're Duke that they will not get to the ground ball, because Syracuse would then get the face-off to start the second half without having to go out for it. And they look like they're just going to take their time. Of course, if the ball's in the air, and it's not. So that's exactly what they did. They want to go 2 men up to start the second half with no face-off.
Although the 2-man advantage will only be for 17 seconds to begin the second half. There's your score at the end of the half. Duke has never trailed and leads Syracuse after 30 minutes, 7-6. At the half, at the Dome, it's Duke 7, Syracuse 6. The Blue Devils obviously were not intimidated coming into the Carrier Dome today. And with a 1-goal lead at halftime, Dale, Duke has to have a lot of confidence.
Well, I was trying to think of how to sum this game up, and I think both teams are hustling, but Duke's hustling a little more efficiently, and that's what the story has been so far.
Let's take a look at some first half highlights. Duke jumped out to an early 4-1 lead. Here's the first goal by Mike Clayton.
Yeah, a hometown kid from Baldwinsville gets on early, just taking a left-handed shot. Rozier not quite ready for that. Gives up the first one.
After Syracuse tied it at 1, Duke pulled right ahead again.
Allen comes down, gets a nice pass across the goal mouth, and he puts it by Rozier stick side.
Plenty of saves in this game for each goalie. Let's start with Kirmser of Duke.
Well, he was hot from the very beginning. He really made some saves. Good body saves, nice stick save there. Didn't get the rebound, but he gets it back. Made a nice outlet pass.
Alex Rozier started a little bit slowly, but came on.
Got hot, he really did. He stopped a couple of point-blank shots. Once again, I think he's right into the game and has gotten hot at the right time.
Syracuse has never led, but did pull even.
Finn, hot. Left-handed shot here. Dom Finn, 3 goals in the first half. So the midfield did most of the scoring. Now you're going to look at Morrissey, and he's just going to deal from behind, and he's going to get a low shot. So he tied that at 6-6. So the attack got one there, but the stats, shots 25-35. Syracuse not as efficient. The pipes, total of 10. The goalies have been busy. Saves, 14-10. Ground ball is a little bit of an indicator there, the efficiency of the hustle. 7 more ground balls for the Blue Devils, and the rest of it kind of speaks for itself. I look for an exciting second half.
Duke leading by 1 at the half, and the Blue Devils will begin the second half with a 2-man advantage. It's 7-6 at the break. We pick up second half action. Duke in a 2-man advantage. Duke leading 7-6. Now it's a 1-man advantage for about 15 more seconds for Duke.
Duke taking the time on this extra man, yeah.
Good patience being shown by Duke. The penalty has expired.
Now this is when they gave up one the last time. Shot, save!
Ogelsby with a good bounce shot. Rozier was there, and this will give Syracuse the opportunity not only to get the ball, but to get back in sync after killing off a 2-man, man-down situation.
Yeah, that hurt him at the end. We came back just when they were doing this. This is the only shot they got off in that whole flurry there, and Syracuse now has to clear it, but you're right. They really cost him a face-off. It cost him an opportunity there where you thought that they would try to perhaps put a little more pressure and get a couple more shots off.
It's interesting when Duke's in a man-up. It's almost like they treat the time as if they have about 10 extra seconds
Right, yeah.
while the defense gets set again. They're very patient. They don't worry about trying to get a shot just before the penalty expires.
Beardsley off or over now, and he's going to go back. So Syracuse got a different group in there. Sullivan's in, 21 at the midfield. They take the ball behind.
Doyle has an opening. Shot going wide. Morrissey running after it. Tries to bat it back toward the field.
Sullivan there. Ball's now out.
And Duke gets it.
That's those ground balls that we talk about. Although they didn't really pick it up. That was the hustle, the more efficient hustle, I guess you could say. And Duke is going to have to clear, but Syracuse not able to cash in on that opportunity. This is a good team. Both teams hustling.
Duke has never trailed. Syracuse has pulled even 3 times, but has not been able to take the lead. Oh, great play by Clayton to avoid Lockwood. Harrison's shot goes wide. Duke will hold on. That was a terrific play by Mike Clayton. He was a gymnast in high school for 2 years.
Well, that
and his
explains
flexibility paid off.
Well, if you beat somebody and you get jumped out there and you beat them 25 yards out from the cage, you know you got a long way to go. So Syracuse fortunate there. Fotopoulos in on 28, Ogelsby.
Flare went down for Duke. It was inadvertent by Fotopoulos.
Yeah. He didn't get the ball in, so it's going to cost him possession. 10 seconds. Charlie Lockwood.
He beats 3 men. He'll shoot. Oh, he lost it off his stick. Proud with the ball for Duke. He avoids Donegan and passes across the field. Now it comes up to Clayton. Clayton, one of 2 Duke players with 2 goals so far. Blue Devils leading 7-6, and now the other player who has scored twice, Ross Moscatelli, has the ball.
Moscatelli's able to get off a shot without really having to cock that, you know. He's able to run full speed and take a good shot. And once again, this is a good deliberate offense. You can see what they're doing. They're taking their time.
Jim Ganella has had a lot of playing time for Duke. He's more of an assist guy than a goal guy. He has 13 assists to 5 goals this season. He had a 14-point game once for Baldwinsville. That's a school record. And Ganella has the ball. Lockwood. I'm sure these two have seen each other over the years. Charlie is older, so they didn't oppose each other much at the prep level, but if you're a good lacrosse player in the Central New York region, you get to know the other guys.
During the summer league. Right now, you can see that Duke is using the extreme outside of that box to take their time. Shot, goal.
Shot in the goal.
See,
Ken Fasanero.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dan. It's just a great exhibition of what they do. They take all the time in the world, and then all of a sudden somebody breaks. They get off a jump shot as they're way out at the extremes of that box. And now look, see the break right there, and then the turn and the jump. Fasanero just turns and jumps. They wait and wait and lull you to sleep, and then when you make that break, they got to have the pass on the button, and Fasanero did it.
Fasanero from the Great Ward Melville program. Duke is back up by 2. Syracuse wins the faceoff. It seems as though when Syracuse has really needed one after falling behind, they have been able to get it virtually every time.
Well, they're going to have to get it pretty soon here because they're down by 2. And if that football maxim is true, you know, the first couple plays in the third quarter, then they've got their hands full.
Mark Fietta with the ball. Look for Sullivan. And it goes out of bounds. Duke will get it.
One of those things we talked about, uncharacteristic, an unforced error. Syracuse losing the ball on a poor pass, or poor communication anyway.
Mike Pressler has to be delighted to this point. His team up 8-6.
Proud with the ball.
Kirmser dangerously out of his net. Here's Toby Price with it for Syracuse. Good look in front, shot.
Save. Did he get a stick on that? Holy cow.
I don't know if it was a stick or another pipe. In any case, it went wide. Another pipe.
Truck tells us it's the pipe. We'll believe him. I didn't see it. It was too fast.
Donegan with the ball.
Oh, he gets jumped big time, and the ball knocked out of his stick right into the goalie.
Kirmser gets it forward to Ganella. His pass knocked away by Colsey. Syracuse has the ball. Doyle across to Dom Finn.
There's the guy who's hot in the scoring department, Finn.
Crowd getting into it. Finn goes down. Tries to get it forward.
Delay.
And Syracuse gets it.
Interference? Yeah, it wasn't delay a game. So it's an interference call.
Interference was the call, Syracuse.
Now this is the kind of break you want to take advantage of, but good defense by Duke. Syracuse has not been able to get a unsettled goal. They got Finn on the move. Good defense right there.
Affolter.
Affolter, 34 did it.
And Affolter has it. Duke appears to be a very well-conditioned team. Affolter shot saved by Rozier. Upfield to Colsey. Good connection there. Colsey runs away from one attempt. Now Colsey's knocked down.
Let's see what the call is. Boy, the fans went on an offside call. You're going to get an illegal check. That's all right.
Penalty was on Jim Ganella.
Yeah, see him with a stick right there. He hit him up above the shoulder. First of all, you can't hit him with a stick, period. And then you see again the shot by Proud. And a little bit of talking. And now they're a little discussion with John Desko on the sideline. And
Syracuse with a man-up opportunity for a minute.
Number 3 for Syracuse. They've got one. So far, 1 of 2.
Lockwood, saved, batted forward. It goes wide of the cage. And Duke will get it. Nice save by Kirmser on the low shot by Lockwood.
Thompson, big defenseman, chasing after the ball. But you see Kirmser, he really tracked that down. He's up to 15 saves. And they're really getting on everybody. They're really putting pressure on Duke to clear the ball. That's Witten.
Syracuse with a successful ride and an excellent one.
That's the, I think that they were perhaps not putting as much pressure on before. They did there, and they forced what they have had happen to them, a bad pass. And now Pressler's group is now going to have to play defense.
Still 28 seconds in the man-up opportunity for Syracuse. Here's Roy Colsey to Charlie Lockwood. Went back to Colsey. Didn't look like he was looking yet. And it goes right out of bounds.
So now they're still man up with 18 seconds, but they will not have the ball. And they're going to put more pressure on, I'm sure, since they've got that man advantage. Yep, they're going to put the pressure on.
Affolter with the ball. And he is able to get it past midfield for Duke.
I think it's Ogelsby. Was it 28?
Yep, that's correct. Should have been Matt Ogelsby, not Affolter. This is Mike Clayton. Duke up by 2. Clayton shoots. Saved by Rozier. Ball way up in the air. High bouncer taken by Duke. Heavey with the ball.
Everybody's even.
Here's Scott Harrison. Duke's leading scorer. Hans Schmid coming up solidly defensively, but Harrison gets it back.
Yeah, they put the ball on the ground. They tried a little AstroTurf pass. Rozier out, uncharacteristic of him.
Dangerous play by Rozier, but it doesn't hurt him. Heavey has the ball for Duke.
He made the jump at the right time, and then he backed off.
7:40 left in the third quarter. It's Duke 8, Syracuse 6. Clayton trying to get by Whittick. Duke sets up, swings it back to Ogelsby. Fotopoulos, the defender. Ogelsby beats him. Ogelsby loses the ball in front, and another penalty against Syracuse.
That's going to cost Smith a minute, and he is upset.
43 in the white, 1 minute with a slash.
Sixth opportunity here, man up. They just had. I guess that was the slash.
There's Chad Smith in the box. Syracuse down for a minute. Harrison trying to spin for the shot, couldn't get it off as Rozier came forward. That goes wide, but Duke has the ball. Duke with the momentum, up by 2.
Still got over 30 seconds left in the man up.
Nice spinning shot in front by Moscatelli. It went wide, and the man behind was Scott Harrison.
When you're outnumbered and you're shifting as they move the ball left to right, that guy in the middle in the crease for Duke moves the opposite way and hopes to get a pass and just turn and fire. That's what they tried. Moscatelli goes down, same place, screen.
Bullet shot didn't get through to Rozier initially. Syracuse had it, trying to flip it forward. Beardsley trying to come up with it, and he does. Good effort by Beardsley. Syracuse with the ball, down a man. Spin shot goes wide.
Now that'll get them out of there anyway. That penalty's wiped out as soon as they get possession down there. So now they're even. I don't know how much time was left. But Beardsley did a nice job of getting it down there, and we're back in action.
Syracuse with more shots, but 2 fewer goals. Trying to get it down to a 1-point deficit again. Duke's biggest lead, 3 at 4-1. Now it's Dom Finn. Passed up the shot, didn't have a good angle. In front to Doyle. Just goes wide. And Morrissey was right along the end line for Syracuse.
Good backup. Duke still up by 5 in the ground ball department. They are hustling. Syracuse playing a half-court game and forced to play a half-court game.
This is Morrissey. Cradling with the left hand as Ogelsby looks on. Mark Fietta. He'll run it in. Ball loose on the floor. Almost knocked in. Just kind of a sweeping shot. Looked like it was Morrissey who got his stick on the ball, and he was almost able to just kind of one-time it in.
Nice play by Ganella from Duke to get that ball on the ground.
This is Dom Finn. Finn spinning in. Another post. Affolter comes up with it for Duke.
Let's see what he does with it. He's going to get it across to a middie. Ball down. They come up with it. Let's see if they try to get a break on him. Nope, they settle it down.
Duke gets the guys at once on the offensive end of the field now. Harrison with the ball. Harrison has not scored a goal yet. Came in with 35. This is Harrison. Spins free. Good job of cutting down the angle by Rozier. He's done it a couple of times to Harrison.
Patient offense once again. Ganella spit out his mouthpiece. That cost him possession. Smith.
Chad Smith. And his shot saved by Kirmser.
See, one shot and Kirmser's there, and they get the ball back. Good hustle by Duke.
Kirmser with the ball.
See, Syracuse had possession, took only one shot. Duke gets it back, and that's the problems they've had.
And an easy clear this time for the Blue Devils. Syracuse has not scored in the third quarter. 3:30 to go. Duke leading 8-6. It was 7-6 at halftime. Rozier with a save. Rozier doing a heck of a job in the third quarter to keep Syracuse alive.
Right, he has helped them. They haven't helped themselves offensively.
Fietta with the ball. Back to Charlie Lockwood. That's high into the stands, and it goes to Duke. Kirmser. Kirmser was ruled to be the nearest man to the end line.
The ball went out of bounds so fast, the official was the guy who had to make the look and make the call.
Now a loose ball. Morrissey, great pass, Syracuse scores. Rob Kavovit with a goal. Syracuse's first of the third quarter, and the Orangemen are back within one with about 3 minutes left in the quarter.
You know, that's the kind of hustle you got to have, and Syracuse did it there. They want the fans back in the game. They've been sleeping here with Duke on offense. They get down and do a great job of hustle, knocking the ball down, getting the ball to Kavovit, and finally they're saying to Kirmser, you know, you're not made out of steel here. We got one by you. So Kavovit comes up with an important goal, brings Syracuse back to within one.
And that was like an alarm clock for the crowd.
And you know what else? It's funny because it was an unsettled goal. They caused it defensively. It was nothing that they had done offensively. Let's see who gets this ball.
Syracuse does. Kavovit with the pass. Morrissey was there, and now the whistle.
He's in the crease, so that'll give the ball to Duke. Let's see what they do if they put long pass. Syracuse just getting people on. Fotopoulos, Big Stick, and Wittick.
Syracuse went nearly a full quarter between goals. Morrissey scored late in the second. Kavovit scoring late in the third.
Boy, they really clear out and give you a lot of room. Duke does run their offense.
This is Moscatelli. Fotopoulos having some trouble keeping up with him. Shot goes wide, but Duke is there.
You see the strategy there. Bring him way out on top. Get a short stick on him. See how far we can drive him.
Near steal there by Wittick. 2 minutes left in the quarter. This game somewhat reminiscent of the semifinal game in '88 between Syracuse and Pennsylvania. The Orangemen won that one by one and then went on to beat Cornell for the title.
A couple of interesting shots in that game, too, Ed.
Somewhat well-known shots.
Yes. See him now one-on-one out with Wittick. Get the jump, take the shot, save.
And Rozier knocked it down and then grabbed it. Here comes Colsey. 1:30 left in the third quarter. Syracuse trying to tie.
Well, he had 2 or 3 guys on him. Somebody's got to be open.
Morrissey with a tough angle scores the goal and ties it at 8.
Tough angle. I thought it was on the outside. Whoa, that was a tough angle, all right. You get a protractor out and measure that. It's about a half a degree, I think. Colsey drew 2 or 3 blue jerseys, dumps it off. Now watch, Morrissey just comes out. Oh my. There's the draw, 2 or 3 guys, dumps it off. The angle, just almost impossible, but Morrissey did it and brings them to 8 apiece. Timeout, Duke.
Comes with 1:19 left in the third. Duke had all the momentum and things have changed. The fans are standing and applauding, and Syracuse feels like it's back in position to pull this thing out.
And the fans have actually gotten up because not only didn't have much to cheer about, they couldn't even get into that part of the game. I think Duke running that nice patterned, patient offense. But Syracuse scrambles at the end of the third quarter to come up with 2 goals, both one caused by a defensive situation. They knocked the ball down, and the other one just a great play by Colsey to Morrissey, and Morrissey getting that almost impossible angle.
Morrissey with 2 goals and assist. Colsey with his first point of the day, that assist. Here's Kirmser, who has done a tremendous job for Duke. 15 saves.
Look at that. That's an amazing average, 16 a game average. And he has just been on top of it. But right there, 2 quick goals, maybe a little momentum for Syracuse. They're tied up, but they have had some problems running their patterned offense, and Duke has taken the time and getting the shots. A couple of man-up opportunities for Duke they have not been able to cash in on.
Again, the winner moves on to take on either Virginia or North Carolina next weekend at Byrd Stadium in College Park, Maryland. Latest score in that game going to the 4th quarter. It's Virginia 8, North Carolina 7.
You look at the faceoffs, Duke's got 5, Syracuse 12. So, you know, talk to people. Most people say if you got a over 2-to-1 edge in faceoffs, you should be sitting pretty. It doesn't always work that way. Here's a classic example. 3-to-1 actually.
Price trying to come up with a draw for Syracuse, and he does. He has been excellent today. Here's Colsey. Syracuse has never led. We're late in the 3rd quarter. It's tied. Colsey knocks a man down, shoots and scores! Syracuse leads 9-8 on a tremendous effort by Roy Colsey. Knocked him down like bowling pins on his way to the goal, and scores for the 41st time this season.
Well, that's power lacrosse. That's number 33, I believe. Let's see who it is for. 1 he's knocked down, 15. That was Ganella, and he just powered his way past another defenseman right there. That's not very fancy. That's like a fullback.
He's 5'11", 192, and solid as a rock.
They're going to give a push on that. Syracuse had the face-off. Had a look, but they're going to have to sit down. Fietta, I think, unless there was no possession. Let's check. There's the ball. Yeah, that's a push. So now another man-up opportunity. They have not been able to cash in. This is the 7th for Duke. And they have taken some hard shots, but Dan, they're very patient. They shoot at the end. 30 seconds. Let's see what they do.
Little less than 1 minute left in the quarter. You see the time remaining and the score. Syracuse finally pulling ahead with 3 goals late in the 3rd quarter.
This is big right here for momentum's sake.
Boy, that was a great opportunity for Moscatelli. His shot was high. Syracuse had 3 people pursuing the end line, but Duke had the nearest man.
Fasanaro was the guy who was there for Duke. There's the stats on Duke. You know, to be actually truthful, they scored one just at the very end of, after the man up was over, but I think that helped cause the problem. Right now, they've got about 5 on this one. They get another shot off, but that's going to go out. They got 4 seconds left, Dan.
And 32 left in the quarter. Rozier barking out instructions from the cage. The penalty has expired, but Syracuse is not back to full strength yet until they can set up defenders.
Smith out on Ganella.
And it looks like the white jerseys match the blue.
Oh, there's a jump.
And a shot and a goal for Jim Ganella. And that ties it at 9. Ganella got around Chad Smith.
Chad Smith way out on top with that big 6-foot stick. When you get too close, see, he tried to go with the handle. He can't do anything. Now there's nobody up there to jump. They're all coming from behind, and Rozier couldn't track that down. So with 12 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, it's 9-9. Syracuse no longer has a big stick on the wing for the faceoff. We got to get some help from the wing guys here. That's Signor down, and Let's see where the ball is. White push. That'll give Duke the ball.
6 seconds left in the quarter. 3 seconds left. And Duke will not get off a shot. 15 minutes left to determine who goes to the Final Four next weekend. Couldn't be much better. There's your scores: Syracuse 9 and Duke 9. Win the fourth quarter, and you go to the Final Four. Syracuse and Duke tied at 9. Duke goalie Joe Kirmser has come up big, but Syracuse scored 3 times late in the third to grab the lead for the first time, and now Duke has come back to tie it against Alex Rozier.
That's Price out there for the face-off for Syracuse, and I think it's Donovan for Duke. Yes, it is.
Price comes up with it. Price could be the MVP without scoring in this game. Price still has it. Ganella defending against him. Now Toby gives it up. Charlie Lockwood with the ball for Syracuse, and now it's Mark Fietta, the junior from Jordan Elbridge. Dave Signor running in for Syracuse, and Fietta will pass it back to him. Every possession becomes so important in the fourth of a tie game. Matt Doyle.
Good defense by Duke. Really, Proud and company doing a good job.
Here comes Lockwood. The laser shoots, saved by Kirmser.
Kavovit there for Syracuse. Laser does not have a goal.
Rob Kavovit with the ball for Syracuse. Now it's Mark Fietta. John Desko trying to position the Syracuse offense. Here comes a shot. Kirmser was there. And Kirmser has the ball out of the crease. Syracuse trying to knock the ball away. They do, but it goes right to the Duke big stick.
10 seconds?
Yes. Syracuse gets it. Good job of applying pressure to Kirmser before he could pass the ball.
Yep, you know, they did exactly what they had to do.
Tiger!
Mike Presser wants a face-off, and I can understand why.
Now it's Roy Colsey. He'll flip it back to Dom Finn. 13:30 left in the game. Colsey's shot is high.
Woo. I think it went through one of the pads behind the goal.
And Morrissey will start the offense. Morrissey's had an excellent game. Passes to Finn. Shot goes high, taken by Doyle behind the cage. Doyle works free.
Inside move, that'll be against them. I think it'll be against Duke because they kind of mugged him there.
Like
yeah, they're going to get
Proud.
a hold.
Looked like Joe Proud being called for his third penalty of the game.
That one's only a technical, though. There's the stats. 47-41 shots, saves, 18-15. Great goalie game. Ground balls pretty even. Man-up goals, 0 for 7. And penalties, 3-7. Proud's down now, though, trying to pick up that penalty time for Duke.
Syracuse with a man up for 30 seconds, trying to take the lead in the fourth quarter, tied at 9. Kavovit to Morrissey, back to Lockwood. Passes in front, Finn shoots and it goes wide.
Good hustle.
Good quick passing by Syracuse in the man-up situation. Virginia's pulling away from North Carolina now. 10-7 Cavaliers with 8 minutes left in that game. Pass attempted back for Finn. It was pushed away by the big stick defender for Duke, but Syracuse has it. Finn with the ball.
Even right now.
Lockwood. Shot was deflected out of his stick, and here comes Duke. First possession of the fourth quarter for the Blue Devils. Bo Mahoney on the run. Harrison trying to pass in front, and it goes right to Duke's James Heavey, and he scores. Tough break for Syracuse.
Yeah.
The ball was actually batted away by the Syracuse defense, but it went right to Heavey, standing next to the crease, And he gives Duke a 1-goal lead.
The luck of the game is they pass over. There's the long shot deflected. He's going over. He plays good body position, but the ball on the rebound is picked up by Mahoney. Was that Mahoney that got that? Heavey, I'm sorry.
Tough break for Alex Rozier. And now it's Duke up by 1 with 12:27 to go.
We got a new face-off guy out there for Duke.
And he wins it. CLAYTON.
Yeah. Now every face-off becomes more important, obviously, as Duke goes to that let's spread them out, take our time offense. And, you know, we'll score when we want to. We'll take our time, and if we don't beat anybody cleanly or get a good break, we'll just keep throwing the ball back and forth.
CLAYTON working toward the middle. Fazzanero with it. A little bit shaky on the pass back, but captured one-handed by CLAYTON. CLAYTON flips it back to Ogelsby. 11:40 to go. Duke by 1. Trying to get to the Final Four for the first time in school history. Trying to prevent Syracuse from making it for the first time in 12 years. Sullivan lost his stick. He's able to pick it up before Ogelsby can shoot. Pass in front. Shot. Goes high. Syracuse on the run. And it looked like Beardsley was the closest man. No. They're giving it to Duke.
Good hustle on the end. Was that 7? That's Heavey. Watch. Good leap. Oh, Duke back at it.
Beardsley was in a position to win that race to the end line and just let up just enough at the end, not realizing the Duke player was ready to leap. Good takeaway by Fotopoulos. Now he loses it, gets it back for Syracuse, and the Orangemen are able to clear. Hans Schmid with the ball. Syracuse trying to tie in the fourth quarter. This is Kavovit. Kavovit pulling even with the goal. Syracuse changing players. Dom Finn running in. And Roy Colsey comes in. Syracuse has the players it wants on the field. It's 10-9 Duke. There's the Virginia-North Carolina score. Colsey shot. Saved. Kirmser coming up big again. Duke will try to clear. And the Blue Devils pull it off as Ogelsby has the ball. Sullivan unable to knock it out of his cross. And Duke lines up. All 4 of the highest seeds are losing at this point in their quarterfinal games.
2-goal lead here would be huge for Duke. They really are taking their time. I think they've had the ball most of this quarter.
Moscatelli with the ball to Ganella. Ganella loses the ball momentarily. It's still loose. And Syracuse picks it up. Schmid upfield to Colsey. Unsettled situation here. Colsey trying to capitalize for Syracuse. He'll shoot. Saved by Kirmser. Colsey gets it back. Syracuse trailing 10-9 with 9 minutes remaining.
Syracuse getting fresh people on. Lockwood's in.
Colsey, tough angle.
And takes a trip through the crease, which gives them possession. And you know, you look down and look at the shots. They're up to 44 for Duke, but he said that's a lot of shots for them. He said we've gone 35 or 40, but they're obviously pretty efficient when they shoot, and they're in and out of that offensive area, their defensive area, so Syracuse gets the ball back.
That's a bad mistake to make in the fourth for Duke, up by 1. Here's Finn. Finn staying on his feet. Doyle, he'll shoot, and he scores! We're tied at 10 with 8:24 to go.
Patience, and Doyle got open, and he dragged that leg right across the crease there, his wheel there. Look at that big right leg all bandaged up. He takes the jump shot and goes back on the jump. Watch. Takes it back to his left. Bang! Stick side low, going in the opposite direction. Brought it back just enough to get Kirmser off, and it's tied at 10.
It was tied at 5, tied at 6, tied at 8, tied at 9, tied at 10. Syracuse wins a big face-off. Signor.
They have to be efficient with these face-offs now. Every shot's going to count.
Doyle, who just scored, cradles with the left hand and passes to Morrissey.
Got Finn and Fietta just checked in.
Finn calling for the ball, he gets it.
Finn wants him to, they want him to clear out for Finn. Spread out.
Affolter is the big stick on him. This is Mark Fietta. Fietta going by CLAYTON. CLAYTON knocks it out of his cross.
That's a push. So that'll be a play on situation where Syracuse got the ball back after Thompson pushed down Syracuse player. I think they like that matchup, but CLAYTON's done a good job there defensively for Duke.
Fietta behind the cage to Finn. Affolter trying to stop him.
Call a Ward. Ran an inside move, and they came up with a Ward as he made a move on Proud. Let's see if he pushes off. Guess he pushed the stick away as he went the opposite direction.
Duke trying to clear. The Blue Devils do. CLAYTON with the ball. Fotopoulos watching him.
Now you got to play very tight defense. And if the ball goes down for Syracuse, you got to come up with the ground ball. Fotopoulos, tough defense, but he's way out on top. Nice check.
Good recovery by Ogelsby. Steve Fennell with the ball. About 6 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game. We're tied. Shot wide. Heavey behind the goal for Duke.
Get the ball in, be behind the cage. See if Rozier's got any more saves in him. He's up to 18.
Harrison with the ball for Duke. Beardsley the defender. Beardsley gets the ball in the ground. Picked up by Rozier. Great play by Beardsley. And Rozier feeds it forward to Schmid. Up to Charlie Lockwood. And he completes a pass on the sideline. Chad Smith with the ball. Smith shoots. Bounce shot high. Kavovit is there for Syracuse.
Hard to get a real good shot with that stick off, but they knew they had a guy. Kavovit was back there and got a backup, so Smith took a shot.
And if anybody can do it, it's Smith. He's scored 7 goals this season.
Yep.
Tension mounting with 6:10 to go. The next goal will be big for whatever team scores it. Doyle knocked down.
Oh, he's hurt.
Doyle has had hamstring and knee problems, and you can see he is holding that right knee in the big brace.
Yeah,
wants to get the brace off.
Watch. He plants right here. He gets a push. Oh, that's where, right there. There was the second plant of the right leg, and the knee just could not take that, and down he went. And they take the brace off. He's got a hamstring problem, he's got a knee problem, and he came up with a goal not too long ago.
Jimmy! Steven and Jimmy!
6:01 remaining. Mike Pressler's team has done a terrific job. Game tied at 10. Duke will have the ball. Let's check out the playoff scoreboard. Virginia leading North Carolina in the 4th quarter. Brown leads second-ranked Loyola. Second-seeded Loyola. And it's Johns Hopkins trying to oust Princeton. Fans applaud as Doyle is upright. Puts an arm around trainer Tim Neal, who will help him to the sideline.
Very disappointed.
There's how it's gone. Duke jumped out to a 4-1 lead. Syracuse finally pulled even at 5-5. That was the first time it was tied. Syracuse pulled ahead 9-8. Then Duke came back to tie it and take the lead before Syracuse tied.
Nice standing ovation as Doyle comes to the sideline. So Duke has the ball.
And Chris Affolter will put it in play, passing to the goalie Kirmser. Takeaway by Kabovit. Kirmser.
That's off of the goalie. That'll be Syracuse ball.
Kirmser will take it, though. The ball was loose on the floor. He had to get it away from Kabovit.
Oh, no doubt about it. But that's the hustle, you know, where you say, geez, it's a situation as normal. I'll just get the ball and get it out of here. And Kabovit comes up in your face and takes it, puts it on the carpet. And now a big play for Syracuse.
Excuse me, Dale. For the most part, when Kirmser has participated in the clear attempts, it hasn't worked that well for Duke. Morrissey shoots and scores! Another goal from an impossible angle for Morrissey. He has a hat trick. Syracuse has the lead with 5:36 remaining.
He took Moscatelli back and forth about 3 times. And then, watch, Moscatelli's going to jump. He's actually on Mahoney, and then he makes the shot. Watch, there it is. But that was number 3, Mahoney, and then he got jumped by Moscatelli, but just that little angle, he doesn't need much, as we've seen earlier. That's a big goal, 11-10. Now, here's a big face-off. You know, it's trite, but it's true. These become bigger. You got a 3-4 goal lead, you don't mind losing the face-off, but right now, Syracuse has got one, and if you're Duke, you really need it. You got to get back in this momentum-wise.
And Duke gets it. Clayton working quickly. Heavey's shot goes wide, and he had an open goal.
They got that off quickly.
Boy,
Duke,
I'll say.
They pick and choose, you know, when all of a sudden they get a flurry, unsettled situation. Let's see what they do now. This is a good matchup with Beardsley because he's a takeaway guy. He's on Harrison there. He has been all game.
Ogelsby with the ball now. Colsey watches him. Shot and a goal for Clayton. And Duke is able to tie it in less than a minute.
Well, that's the way to get back in the game and get the momentum. They certainly weren't out of the game, but they needed a lift. They got the ball down and right up over Rozier's head. There's the move. Come back, jump, dump, shot.
Took 31 seconds for Clayton to tie it for Duke. When Syracuse pulled ahead 9-8, it also took less than a minute for Duke to tie it at 9. Syracuse had the ball. A penalty flag comes flying in, and Syracuse will have it.
I was going to say, Duke really hustling, but they mugged Signor there. They got a nice hold on him, so they will get the face-off, and big sticks come in for Duke as they get Sam Cady in.
30-second man-up opportunity for Syracuse.
Timeout, Syracuse.
4:58 remaining.
Now, what does Coach Simmons say? He doesn't have to say much. They know what it's like. It's their tradition. We talked about it at the top of the show. They've been there, and they've been in close games.
Syracuse will not have Matt Doyle for the rest of this game. You can see he is on the bench and out after twisting his knee. John Desko and Coach Simmons talking to the players who will be on the field when Syracuse begins the man-up opportunity. A 30-second man-up chance with 4:58 to go.
Mike Pressler, his troops have certainly not been awed or played like they were just glad to be here. And that's a credit to Mike and his coaching staff.
I got one timeout left. I'm going to save it for 2 minutes. You got to clean the right take. Come on, hey, guys. All the way. Come on.
So he's got one timeout. He wants to save it. You see the penalty situation. Duke has not been able to come up with a man-up goal. Syracuse, on the other hand, has one. There's Rozier. There's Kirmser. Both guys, this has been, if you like goalie play, this has been a super game. And if you like pipes.
That's right. It's a tense situation for everyone on the field, but especially the goalies. Tie game, 5 minutes to go. Casey Donegan with the ball for Syracuse. 20 left in the man-up opportunity. Who will take the shot? Finn takes it, hits another pipe. Lockwood trying to track it down, he will. 10 seconds left in the man-up.
Secret is now you really got more than 10 seconds. Don't get panicky. You got more than 10. They're just now getting set up. They're still in a man-down look, and it's a thrown-away pass.
Lockwood trying to hit Morrissey. Pass was off the mark, and Duke gets the ball with 4:23 remaining.
So that's only one man-up goal.
Virginia up by 3 in the fourth quarter of that game.
Oh!
Ball loose on the floor. Still loose. Duke has it. Mahoney tries to get it upfield. This would go to Syracuse if it goes out of bounds.
Absolutely, yeah.
Syracuse has it with 4:02 remaining.
A lot of hustle over there, going after the ground ball, forced a long pass. It was good hustle. You know, this guy doesn't ever seem to get too excited. But you know, there's a lot of thoughts going around in that white-capped head there, as he knows they've got about 4 minutes left and his guys are tied up.
The winner will play Virginia. That's a final, 12-10. The Cavaliers knock off North Carolina. Charlie Lockwood with the ball for Syracuse. Less than 4 minutes to go. Kavovit. We're tied at 11. You see the time remaining in regulation. Kavovit with a pass. Donegan scores, and Syracuse has a 1-goal lead with 3:37 to go. Tremendous pass by Kavovit, the freshman, feeding the senior, Casey Donegan.
Jason Goger, 47, is the guy. There's the wrap check attempt. He's got the body position. There's a slide too late by himself. Kavovit, watch the wrap check by Mahoney. There's the wrap. Look, anybody open? Absolutely. Donegan's there. Donegan puts it in. 12-11, 3:37 face-offs. Each one becomes more important. Back with the long stick in there in case you lose it. You can play a little defense.
Duke has it. Ogelsby. Fotopoulos trying for the takeaway. Now it's Chad Smith. Ogelsby holds on.
Boy, he's doing a good job of holding on. I'll tell you, they're putting a... no possession push, it'll stay. But you talk about desire here. Watch this. Just Colsey or not Colsey, excuse me, that's... Chad Smith. Mm-hmm. Yep. Saw the 3, didn't see the 4. Chad Smith.
Moscatelli shot saved, Rozier. Schmid gets the ball for Syracuse. Upfield to Fotopoulos. A goal here would be enormous. Fotopoulos shoots, it's high. Morrissey behind the cage for Syracuse.
You know when you practice that fast break that you know guys are going down to get back up because you know Duke's not going to be there. They're just hustling to get back in position, so it's not a bad shot. They're playing tight way out on top. Colsey gets the ball.
Syracuse leading by 1. So obviously the Orangemen can afford to be somewhat patient, but you don't want to run the risk of sitting on it in lacrosse. For one thing, you can't. You can be called for a delay of game if you don't force the offense.
Well, Moscatelli has played a good game defensively and offensively for Duke. He's on Colsey right now.
Colsey takes the shot. It's a little bit wide. Kavovit there behind the goal for Syracuse. 2:12 remaining.
Well, now Syracuse, you know what Duke could do. They'd spread it out, take their time, and get off perhaps one shot in 2 minutes. You got to stay in that box under this 2 minutes right there. See that? Now, if you go out of that offensive box, if you're Syracuse, you're going to lose possession. Now, if the ball's checked out or something, but let's see. Let's tell him to keep it in.
Kavovit running toward the cage. Passes for Donegan, who was open. It's going toward the sideline. Diving attempt by Donegan, but he can't get to it. Duke gets the ball, down by 1.
Now, if you're Rozier, what are you thinking? You're down the other end. Your guys just couldn't keep the ball in. You got to say, come on, guys. Give me a break here. Keep them off me.
Virginia a winner. Brown continues to lead Loyola by 1. Hopkins continues to lead Princeton by 1. And with 1:40 left in regulation, Mike Pressler uses his last timeout for Duke.
He said he was going to when there was 2 minutes or under, and he is. You could not ask for a more exciting game. You could not ask for a better game out of both goalies. Very calm. Coach Simmons and his staff, calm.
As the coach, you have to set the emotional tempo here. And if you're nervous, your team is going to reflect that.
Well, Duke certainly can't complain about a lack of man-up opportunities. They've had 7, have not been able to get 1 in Syracuse, 1, 4, 5. So man-up has not been, in terms of scoring, a big factor. But the man-down defense for Syracuse certainly has been. They did a great job today.
Syracuse trying to protect a 1-goal lead with 1:40 remaining. The Orangemen 17-1 in NCAA tournament games here at the Carrier Dome. Duke came in a decided underdog and has played a terrific game to get to this point.
You know, people might ask, what did Duke do right? Well, they slowed the game down offensively when they had to. They were able to score when they wanted to. They've been very efficient on ground balls, and they're still in it. And they got 1 minute and 40 seconds to tie it up.
First, Duke has to clear. This is Ogelsby. Maneuvers around Morrissey. Now the ball is loose. Syracuse has it. Morrissey trying to fire upfield to Kavovit, and it was a little bit too far. Does kill some time, though. Now the long pass completed. Nice look by the goalie. Now a bad pass behind Ogelsby. Syracuse bats it back toward midfield. Donegan is there. He picks it up, and Syracuse has the ball.
You got to pass it. You can't hold it. Now when they get in there, they got to stay in that box.
1:08 to go. A goal now would almost put it away for Syracuse.
Now Syracuse has got to change some people. They're going to get double teamed. They got a lot of people out there just getting in up by the box.
Finn and Lockwood run in. Colsey, who is so tough to take the ball away from. 45 seconds remaining. Colsey does lose the ball. It's bouncing free. Colsey trying to get it back. He comes up with it.
Timeout,
and a timeout called by Syracuse with 38 seconds to go.
Good call, absolutely.
Syracuse will have the ball after this timeout.
I guarantee you, if you hold on to the ball that long, you're going to attract a lot of attention. And I think they wanted to say, look, we appreciate you being able to run the clock out, but don't be afraid to give it up if you have to. He did a great job, ran a lot of time off, Colsey did. And you're going to get a look at some good defense. Just a lot of hustle as Morrissey. Then they knock the ball out. And Donegan. And then they get back and they look up. Ball went down again, but you still got to play. Kavovit down after Proud. Proud makes the long pass. Back up. Ball down. Now they just keep running. Duke's heading on down the field. That was CLAYTON.
Great
Ball
effort
back
coming
down.
up here.
Watch this. Knocks it back. Knows it could go out of bounds.
That's Toby Price, who's done a tremendous job on the face-offs today.
Price says, I hope I got some help behind me, and he did from Donegan. So Price diving, knocking it backward. The little things that will never show up on the stat sheet other than it was a ground ball, but it was one that could have saved the game for Syracuse. We still got 38 seconds left.
44-27 the attendance today. That crowd has been rewarded with a tremendous game.
Well, Mike told me, Pressler told me that if they had 25 saves, that they'd be in it. He's got 19 now. And Rozier, 19. That's ironic and fitting.
Kavovit will have the ball. Duke puts 2 defenders on him immediately. Someone has to be open. Kavovit loses the ball. It's rolling free.
Joe Proud called for a hold. Fourth penalty called against Proud today.
I'll tell you what, you're not going to be able to run through these 240-pound defensemen. You're going to have to make a pass, which of course that's what Duke wants you to do. They want to create a loose ball situation.
Now it's Kavovit trying to loop it to Finn, taken away by Duke. Fired upfield. Beardsley reaches forward to take it for Syracuse. Dumps it forward to Colsey. Colsey evades a man. Gets hit by two. Here comes the flag. That's a big penalty. Syracuse is going to have an advantage with 17 seconds to go and a 1-goal lead.
33, Hardy, I think, is the guy that's going to get caught. We got an illegal check. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, right there. But it wasn't on 33, it was on Mahoney.
That's a 1-minute penalty with 17 seconds left in the game. The key is Syracuse will have an extra man and makes it almost impossible for Duke to get a good double team on the ball.
They have to go after the ball.
10 seconds left. Syracuse trying to hold on and move to the Final Four for the 12th straight year. 4 seconds left. Colsey with the ball. 2 seconds left. A shot and a save. The long ball fired upfield, and it's taken by Schmid. Syracuse comes from behind and heads to Maryland with a 12-11 win.
Spectacular fashion. Spectacular fashion as it went all the way down to the very last shot.
Casey Donegan scores the game winner with 3:37 to go, and Syracuse holds on to a 1-goal lead from there. It'll be Syracuse against Virginia in the semifinals next Saturday at noon at Byrd Stadium.
Well, you know, the matchups are there, but you want to savor this one. I'm sure Coach Simmons and Coach Desko and Coach Horrell, Coach Donahue, everybody want to say, all right, guys, we got this one. Relish it tonight. We go to work tomorrow, as Duke played a tremendous game. A lot of the local kids, Mike Clayton and Proud, Katie, all playing in the Dome and congratulating Syracuse players. And there's the guy who had such a tremendous game, Kirmser, and his counterpart Rocher, both had tremendous games. Both guys with 19 saves. Both guys shot at point blank, and both came up big when they had to. Syracuse out shooting Duke 63-48.
It's one of those games where you can see it's more a feeling of relief than excitement for Syracuse. They're doubled over, exhausted from the physical wear and tear of this game, and also from the mental drain, trying to win a game they were expected to win, even though no one thought it would be easy. They had to come from behind all day. They never led by more than a goal, and they pull it out 12-11. The leading scorer for Syracuse was Jim Morrissey, 5 points in a game of this magnitude, 3 goals and 2 assists. His career high is 6, so he almost matched that today. Syracuse did a terrific job shutting down Duke's leading scorer, Scott Harrison.
Harrison came in, and you know, they had a lot of different looks, but basically Beardsley was on Harrison, and he did a tremendous job as he was at only 1 assist. Syracuse played well defensively. I think they threw the ball away a couple times, looked a little uncharacteristically sloppy on occasion, but generally came back and played great. That third quarter was the one I think that looked like it was going to last forever, and Syracuse wasn't going to score, and got 2 goals near the very end as you see them shaking hands.
And you see the fans rewarding Syracuse with a standing O. The Orangemen complete the home portion of this season with no losses. Syracuse's all-time Dome record up to 87-5. And we'll be hearing from Roy Simmons Jr. momentarily, as the dream of a 6th national championship is still alive and 2 wins away. It's a hotly contested game, but you can see the respect the players from each team have for each other, and the handshake line following Syracuse's 1-goal win. Syracuse is headed to the Final Four, and we have the opportunity now to speak to Victoria's head coach Roy Simmons Jr. Roy, have you had Tim Neal check your blood pressure yet after that game? What a game.
Well, I'm not really a big consideration. It's the kids. They came together, and they weren't down bad at the halftime, although they weren't playing their stride. We got some 60 shots off, and that should be enough to put anybody away. We hit a lot of iron today, and we played a great team today, too.
Well, you know, we talked about the goalies and the iron. I think we came up with 14 pipes between both teams, but both guys had 19 saves. I thought you got great goaltending out of Rozier, and Kirmser did a great job, too.
Yeah, two great goalies. I felt it boiled down to goalie play, and that was pretty even. Ball possession, and we had in the second half. I think we had maybe a little more energy in the second half. They really played their hearts out, Duke, in the first half, and that was obvious by the score, holding us to 6 and coming up a goal ahead of us at halftime.
People might be a little concerned. You read the paper, said, gee, the face-offs, but here 16-9, I believe, you had a lead in face-offs, but getting the face-off doesn't always guarantee you're going to get a lot of goals.
No, you know, owning the ball is very important, but face-offs can be adjusted from the wing, and we've been working on that phase of the game. It was a weak spot of ours early on, and Toby Price has come up real big, and David's improved to beat the band, and that's a stronger part of our game now than it was in March and April.
Roy, I don't know if you've heard of the other quarterfinal games today, but the higher-seeded teams are having trouble. Loyola was losing at last word. Princeton was losing in the fourth quarter, and North Carolina lost to Virginia, so you'll face the Cavaliers next Saturday at noon.
Well, it's nice to play somebody we haven't played in the playoffs. I'm not orchestrating the playoffs in any way. We just take whoever comes next, and they've earned the right to play us, and we earned the right to be there, and this is our 12th straight year, and bring on the next team, the Cavaliers, and we'll see what happens in the lower bracket. We won't have to worry about that until Monday.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
So Roy Simmons Jr. could be on his way to a 6th national championship. 5 already a record, and Syracuse is 2 wins away from defending its national title. Syracuse over Duke by a 12-11 final. We certainly hope you enjoyed this one. I think you don't even have to be a big lacrosse fan to have really enjoyed this well-played game between Syracuse and Duke. So once again, the final score, Syracuse 12 and Duke 11. For Dale Drypolcher and the entire Super Sports crew, I'm Dan Hort saying thanks for watching, and reminding you that this has been a presentation of Super Sports, a production of Adelphia Cable Communications.